Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. We're here today. It is day 2 of Junk Journal January, and our prompt is quote. So let's get started with the tea of today on day number 2. And again, these boxes don't like to stay in their places, so we have to put them back because, you know, that's a thing that we feel like doing, that a little piece of tape could have taken care of Mr. David's tea. So day number 2 is Cupid's Breakfast. It is a black tea inspired by Paris, France. So this is a creamy black tea, and you were to imagine a Parisian stroll alongside a romantic tea shop with the smell of fresh rose petals in the air. Well, that's quite lovely to envision. It smells really nice and creamy. It smells kind of like an Earl Grey to me. So we're going to pop it in here. And I know I'm going to need to probably go get some milk for this tea because it is a black. And we also need to empty a little bit of my water. I knew I would have a little too much, so let me just... It's better to have more than too little. So let's see if that will go. No, we still have a little too much. I'll get this right. This is day 1. I have a little bin here I can dump the water into, no worries. This is day 1 of understanding what I can do with this teapot. Because usually I pour the water over the tea, but today I'm trying to just put it in there and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to use a little stirrer here to just stir that tea around and make sure the water is in there doing its thing. So we'll just let that brew a bit. So I was thinking about quote today, and my lovely friend Mary Ellen shared a really fun quote about being a gatherer essentially this morning, and I put it right into my new journal for the year because I think it's going to be a very nice start to things. But the project that I want to do today, in case you weren't aware, I'm doing tags for the month of Junk Journal January because that's just what I feel like making. And so I'm going to do a little project that I do from time to time, which is just kind of this like find a book, and I'm going to use today Esther Reed Yet Speaking, this lovely old pansy book, and you just open it to a random page and you have to find a quote from the book to pull out, and that's what you base your project on. So let's see here if I can find a page with lots of words. Let's just read this. Something's happened from page 179. Pitch it into the fire then, and it will be many a long day before I bring you anything else, said Dirk, pushing himself angrily back from the table where he had been eating bread dipped in a choice bit of pork fat. There isn't a bit of danger of my doing that, she called after him mockingly. There isn't a spunk of fire, nor likely to be today, unless some of your admirers send me a shovel of coal. Mercy knows I wish they would. Sounds like we're having a bit of an argument. He mercifully lost part of this sentence for the reason that before it was concluded he was moving with long, angry strides up the alley, and then March took the broken-nosed pitcher away in the furthermost corner, although she was alone in the room, and laid her face against the cool, pure lily and wept into it great burning tears. Sorry, that was my alarm. Poor ignorant soul. She wanted, oh, how she wanted Dirk to be brave and good like Mark Calkins, her one type of manhood. Yet she did not know that she was crushing out the germ which might have grown in his heart. True, she knew herself to be very different from Sally, but she thought, poor soul, that was because Mark was so different from Dirk. Isn't it a pity that the sweet-faced lily could not have told its tender story to both these ignorant ones? Well, that's kind of an aggressive page, right? Such a sweet looking book. Okay, so first of all, this paper is so nice to feel. The text is like risen up on it. It's a nice old book. It's like, let's see when it's from. Well, actually, do the Pansy books have dates in them? I have a feeling that they don't. But they're turn of the century, early 1900s, usually. Anyways, did we see anything on that page that would work? Lost part of this sentence. Maybe. Grown in his heart. You know, I don't think that page is workable, and that happens sometimes. So let's go to another one. Here was his opportunity. So one of the wall texts that the gaslight illumined until it glowed. The gaslight illumined until it glowed. That's kind of pretty. Maybe with like a light, you know, on the tag, something we could create a light. And the word stood out with startling clearness. I also like that. Let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. His sister's text, one that perhaps more than any other was on her lips when she talked with him, one that had hung at her coffin's head when he, oh that's cool, hung at her coffin's head, when he, a little boy, stood beside the coffin and looked down at her face and looked up at that text and took a mental photograph of both to live in his heart forever. Live in his heart forever is also nice. This is your special chair, Mrs. Roberts said, smiling up at him, and he understood her. Here was the opportunity to live out that text for his sister. Wouldn't he try? Well, said Gracie, drawing a long breath. As a study, it is certainly a success. So if you're watching this, Mary Ellen, I'm just thinking of Gracie, your cat, sitting on the desk, and she's now the narrator for this story. One can easily see, Flossie, why you were born with the ability to tell at a glance what colors harmonized and just where things fitted in. I can't imagine anything prettier than this, and I cannot imagine what you are going to do with it. Whereupon they sat down to talk that important question over. What they were going to try to do. Sometimes I have wondered whether Esther, from her beautiful home, could look down on it all, and whether she smiled over the fact that her work was... And that is the end of that page, but we're going to use this page. Don't cry that I'm, pulling this page into this book. This book's going to become a journal. I don't plan to keep it and read it or any of those things. This is a journaling channel. Okay, so we need a few things. My tea is almost brewed here. I'm going to get some milk and some supplies and be right back. Okay, so I have some supplies put together that I'll show you in a moment. I am back with a little bit of milk in this tea. Christmas in Paris is really nice, creamy. It has enough of a floralness to it that it doesn't need sweetener of any kind, so I don't have any sweetener. But this one is a 5 out of 5 on my scale of tea because I quite enjoy it. I also, before I get into the tags I'm going to make today, wanted to show you I've started my January journaling already, and because we're talking about quotes, I'll show you I've written my first quote. It's from Nina Bagley, and it's the quote I mentioned a little earlier from Mary Ellen at Red Parrot. She sent it to me and Shell's Creative Chaos this morning, and I decided to start my journal off with it. It was also the first run of this new pen that I got from Ferris Wheel Press. It's one of these pens, the Carousel Fountain Pen. I'm just getting used to it, but I want to write in this book in that pen, as well as some brown ink pens that I have coming. So I'll just read the quote to you to get started. We are gatherers, the ones who pick up sticks and stones, the old wasp nests fallen by the door of the barn, walnuts with holes that look like the eyes of owls, bits of shells not whole but lovely in their brokenness. We are the ones who bring home empty eggs of birds and place them on a small glass shelf to keep for what? How long? It matters not. What matters is the gathering, the pockets filled with remnants of a day evaporated, the traces of certain memory, a lingering smell, a smile that came with the shell. And that is, again, Nina Badgley. And you'll see I made a little mistake here because my daughter was continuously asking me questions while I was trying to write this morning, and that's a reality of my life. I've chosen to use a kintsugi style method to get rid of all of my mistakes in this journal. So I'm just going to cover them all with gold. And that is what we are doing. But I'm already excited about this book. If they are not already gone, there are a few of these in my Etsy shop early January. So if you want to get started on a year of nature observation and just writing, by all means, I have these books. So what are we doing? We're making a tag. Okay. Here is the page. These are the materials. So I did a little die cutting of this moon. Lampposts. I knew I had lampposts. And I also had these, and I thought they would be quite neat, right? Around the lamppost, maybe behind it. We'll see. And other bits and bobs associated with that. A couple of labels, a little bit of lace. So we're going to go with a couple things from my Tuesday 10 bin, my scrap bin. One is this page from one of my Journal Together kits. And two is this page from a Shabby Dabby Doodah kit. So let's find the quotes that we want to use from this book and get them cut out. Okay, so one of the wall texts that the gaslight illumined until it glowed and the words stood out with startling clearness. So that, or some aspect of that, I do want to use. Then, his sister's text, one that perhaps more than any other was on her lips when she talked with him, one that hung at her coffin's head. I like that, hung at her coffin's head. So we'll just cut a little snip around that. Oh, something upstairs is being thrown around. Photograph of both to live in his heart forever. I think I could use that. What colors harmonized? That's nice. I can't imagine anything prettier than this. I cannot imagine what you are going to do with it. You know what? I quite like that little word snippet, and another way of using quotes in my journal might also be just like this. So I think I'm going to take that little quote, and rather than making any ephemera with it, I am just going to put it in my journal right here, along with that quote from Mary Ellen. And I'm going to put it on my calendar for the day, I think. I have to think if I want it there or not. Maybe not, because that's where I'm going to document my firsts, like the first, this, that. And I know I'm going to have some firsts today because it is the first day of this year, and I am planning to go out for a little hike because we have a little snow that majestically has shown up. There we go. So that little quote is now stuck in here, and I think, you know, you could add a leaf or something here and it would be quite a nice little statement. So let's just elastic this back up. I so love this closure. It's perfect for me. Quick and out of my hair. All right, so let's begin. I need to get rid of this page. Okay, so let's start. We're going to make 3 tags. That's the plan, Stan. All right, so one of the wall texts, the gaslit illumined until it glowed, and the words stood out with startling clearness. I actually think I may use most, if not all, of that. Gaslight illumined until it glowed. I'm going to get rid of one of the wall texts. That. Yep. Okay. So this will be the first one. We've got that quote. Now let's see what we want to do here. Faced and looked up at that text and took a mental photograph of both to live in his heart forever. I'm going to just keep took a mental photograph of both to live in his heart forever. This has like an air of mourning to it, just these quotes. It's weird. One that hung at her coffin's head when he, a little boy, stood beside the coffin and looked down at her. I'm just going to keep hung at her coffin's head. Okay, there's our quotes. So let's get going here. I need, where are my trusty cereal boxes? So I'm going to need 3 tags. So there's 1 and 2. Actually, why don't we use a big box? Because that will get one big box out of my life here. So I'll just cut this down the middle. There we go. Let me get my cutter. Off there. I think I'm going to have to manually cut some of this gnarly bit here. Get rid of it. Okay. I'm sorry for the noise if you can hear my children upstairs. They are playing and it sounds like they're having fun, but it's loud. They're a little loud, not gonna lie. Alright, so there's tag number 1. 2. This will be 3, so let's cut this off, and then cut this off. Oops. Go to 3 1/4. Let's just plug up this glue bottle again. Right, so let's begin. I need both sides of this paper and for 2 different projects. Where's my ruler? Here. Let's begin with this one. Hear the little ding of my bird feeder. Perhaps I will include for you today a little video of either what we have right now are the red-breasted nuthatches and black-capped chickadees all coming to our little bird feeder outside. It's a bird buddy. It has a camera inside. It was a gift for my kids who love it to bits for Christmas from our very good friends, our chosen family. They always think of the kiddos and get them these great things. My daughter specifically is really interested in seeing what birds we're getting. And I think now that there's a little snow on the ground, we're going to see more birds. It's been a little while. We've had a bird feeder the bird feeder outside, set up for about I'm going to say a little over a month now, and we haven't really we didn't see any birds. We got squirrels for a little while, and then that was it. And then we got yeah, a bunch of squirrels actually. And then I moved the bird feeder and I put in a squirrel baffle. So now the squirrels can't get up there, but I did give them chestnuts for Christmas. I bought them some nice chestnuts because I do love the squirrels. But now we're getting the birds. So I found out that birds can actually only locate a bird feeder by vision. They have no other senses like smell or anything that drives them toward the bird feeder. So yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so this is our backgrounds for 2 of our tags, and then I need some kind of a different background for the coffin's head quote. I think I may just collage one from scraps that are in the tone that we want. Okay, so we'll set those aside and let's work on the other one, which is this one. I mean, I may actually use this as part of it. Okay. We just want some dark background because it's a darker themed tag. Let's go with this as like a background. This is just a paper from my scraps in my scrap bin. I haven't done my annual purging of the scraps. So for the first couple of years that I got into making journals, I realized like scrap acquisition is a thing and I didn't want to have a million scraps. So I would purge them at the beginning of the year by half, 50%. I would just from the bottom dump, and I haven't done that yet. I don't know if I'm going to do that this year. We'll see. They are kind of overflowing, so it's probably going to happen. Sorry about that, guys. My battery just died, and I'm really hoping we don't lose all that footage. Sometimes my camera can be a little wonky. I need to probably address that at some point in this year because every now and then things go a little cuckoo with this camera. Okay, so I was tearing this in half. Now, let's kind of see how much we need. Well, just about all of it, not quite. Tear the bottom off. And I'm going to just glue this down. Okay, like that. Then I need a little bit of distress oxide. Where's my, oh, here it is. Okay. Let's cut this into a tag shape so I know what I have to work with here. I like this one because the quote is hung at her coffin's head, And you know, she has this interesting bit over her head here. So I'm just going to kind of cut this out, just like, not quite fussy cut, but almost. Okay, now let's ink around that as well with the black. I'm not going to re-ink, I'm just going to use the little bit that's left, I think. Now we need a little more. Yep, okay. Let's glue that down first. These are these really fun, like, die cut gold images that I found at a thrift store. I got like a whole pack of them. And they're such a treasure. I have no idea if they are like new or old. I don't really know, but they were in these attached little sheets, and they have almost like a plastic on back. Not quite, like, kind of like they have like a little acetate or something on back. It's hard to explain, but they're beautiful. Center that here. And I'm feeling a little like a little more, this is a little bright. And then what I might do, I so often don't give myself like enough time for wet media making videos, but I think I do want to spray this with a bit of water just to make that oxide kind of do its thing. I like the texture. Oh, we have a little spider. Oh my goodness. Come here, little one. Crawl onto this paper. I get these little tiny glassy little spiders that come into my studio from time to time. And see, he's spun a web now. He's right here. Do you see him, this little spider? They're the most innocent little thing. I'm sorry if this scares you, but they're the most innocent little things. I'm going to just shuffle him off here onto the... Oh, he's still here. Okay, we'll put you over here. You're fine to continue. I like to have them in the house actually because in a house with wool, I mean, I've never had moths, bless that, but in the event you do, it's good to have a spider around. Alright, so that's had a moment to dry, and I'm just thinking about, I don't know if we lost the beginning of this video, I hope not, but if we did, I'm just going to recap as I'm gluing what I did today so far. So our prompt is quote, right? So what I decided to do was go into a random vintage book from my stash and just open to a page randomly and pull three. I ended up just pulling the page out, and I pulled 3 quotes from it, and that is how we are creating this work. So let me just get this glued. So I want this to be on top of here. So the book is this, Esther Reed Yet Speaking. It's a pansy book from the turn of the century. All right, so now we need to put our hung at her coffin's head quote on there. And that'll be the first of our quote tags. But I need something to put it on. I have this, but I don't think so. I have that, but I don't really think so. Maybe I'd cut it in half and gild it and put something under it, like, actually this might just be better altogether. Book spine is the answer to like 99% of life's woes, just so you know, like in general for me, book spine. But actually it may not be this time, because I want this to show up a little more than what that is giving me. So let's go back to this. We're going to gild this. Okay. Then with the edges, I'm just going to drag this on my ink pad, or my oxide rather, to just cover up the edge with a little black and hopefully get a little shadowing. There we go. It's a little shadowing there. You probably can't see such a tiny detail, but I can see it. I'm going to carefully cut this tiny little quote in half. I'm usually a fan of much larger, like, words, but every now and then you got to use the little guys. Oops, this goes down here. That was a close one. I almost glued it wrong. Oh my goodness. And this is old paper. We would have been done for, guys, if I had done that wrong. This is living on the edge art with me. We always live on the edge. Now I do want a little of this book spine. And I'm just going to cut it out in kind of a rippy, gnarly kind of way. Put this over here. Then get all these pieces together. Come on back. Let's glue this first. Right here. And we'll put our gold quote label down. All right. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it's a lot of fun. I also love how the oxide really did its thing on the black. It's really cool. Okay, let's move on. Next we have, let's do the gaslight illuminated thing. So what I have for this is this and this. I thought about the big moon as well, but I don't think it's going to work, maybe. But we could add the big moon. Why not? You know, I have a plan. I have a plan, Stan. Let's do this. Okay, so first we need to do a little bit of inking. This is going to be a less traditional kind of tag shape once we're done. So the first ink I'm going to use, which works the best on black, is this Sizzix Luster Wax in Lilac Rainbow. Just watch this. It's honest magic. Magic, magic, magic. You see the magic happening already? Illuminated. On black, this is incredible. Not so much on white or any lighter colors. It doesn't really show up as much of anything, but for black, it's amazing. The other thing that's weird about it is it's like a luster wax, which is the same as this luster wax, but they have totally different feels. Like this Lilac Rainbow is really soft and melty feeling, whereas the gilding wax kind of wax is a lot more hard and solid and kind of, it needs the warmth of your finger to kind of activate. But I guess it's probably because of the type of pigments. Like there's obviously some kind of metallic pigment in there. Okay, let's get rid of this now. And we want the moon, I think, to be just kind of like this. It's going to be looking down upon everything here. So ink, or sorry, we'll glue this all up. Children are upstairs being wild. I gotta get them outside soon. As soon as I get this video done, probably take them out somewhere fun to do something fun. Okay, that's that. Now, let's just set that aside for a moment over here. And we're gonna gild this with gilding wax, the gold luster wax. Try to get the rest off there. Over there. So I think next thing I'll do is I'll lay this down. I gotta see where though. So this will go here. Why don't we just glue the bottom of this down, and then I will know exactly where I want to put everything else. Yeah, right there. Yep, okay. To get all these little tails. The only thing about die cuts is like it's a little bit more detailed. Finicky, as my parents would say. My children are, I don't know what they're doing upstairs, but it sounds like there's a ball involved, and that's what this banging is. Probably a basketball. Yep, right like that. Then we need to glue the rest of this down. There we go. There. So now to decide, do I want to cut this into a tag shape as is and lose all of that? Or do I want to make like a free-form shape around this? I think I'll do the latter of the two. I just need some paper. Oh my goodness, these kids. This folder, I think. But before we put it down, I'd like to put some kind of color on there. Using something. Maybe this. Hold on, I'm gonna just reach something. All right, so I'm just gonna get some yellow eyes ink and kind of just smoosh it around on here. Not too concerned about any thick or thin kind of spots because this is not really going to get seen too much, just the edges will be. I also needed to clean that ink pad a little, so I'm happy I'm using it. I need a little more down here. Okay, there we go. Now we will glue this whole entire piece. Again, we got to get these little tendrils that are coming out. Glue, glue, glue. Glue those down. And we're going to cut around, leaving about like a 1/4 inch or so. Just kind of mirroring the shape. And you'll see like we get kind of a natural tag shape, and then I want to continue with the freeform shape around here. Okay. There we go. Smooth it all down, and then we need our quote, which is here. The gaslight illumined until it glowed, and the words stood out with startling clearness. So that needs something underneath it for sure. I don't know if we want... Not quite that, no. You know I'm looking at the book spine, right? You know that's what I'm doing. Okay, I think it would be cool on here. This like gnarly kind of backing. Also, this light color here might be nice. Could also just look at a scrap of paper from my scrap bin maybe. But you know what? I think I like this. I want to keep those kind of torn feathery edges. Put that here. With that on top. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is just a little inking, I think. Where did my glue book go? There it is. Okay. Get a little yellow ink around the edge, then we'll glue this on. Okay. Right, so that's fun. Yeah. Okay, number 3. Third quote is, took a mental photograph of both to live in his heart forever. So I think I'm going to change up this quote a little bit. Took a mental photograph, and then I'm going to get rid of both to live in his heart forever. So I think I want to put these on here actually. Without much fuss here. Too busy. Okay, let's deal with this first. Then I've got these little bits here. There's like this one I think would be kind of cool on there. So let's glue I know this is supposed to go on the bottom of the light post or something, but I like it as a freeform shape like that. So let's put that down. Okay. Good. Then I'm going to put another of these light posts up here, I think. No. Glue that down. Cut these apart, these little, I need better scissors. Where are my fabric? Somebody needs to clean her desk off, because these are gigantic black scissors that I should see. So I don't know where. Maybe I left them in my sewing machine. Did I go to my sewing machine? I don't think so. I don't know. It's okay. We'll locate them, and until then I'll struggle. There we go. Not too bad. Okay. I need Fabri-Tac. Okay, we'll let that do its thing for a minute, the Fabri-Tac, and then I'll glue this down. Only the center though, because I want a little bit of flight from these edges. And then this, I just want to put a little Fabri-Tac in the middle. The wrong side. What is wrong with me? I'm clearly not awake yet. That was supposed to be a high caffeine tea, but I don't know. That's good. Now, another one. This glue bottle is like a little bit jammed, I think. No, not there. Okay, over here. One more over here. Okay. Voila. Then we'll cut this into a tag. Good. Let's just seal these glue bottles back up here. One. Okay. Now we need a little inking, I think. Definitely this one needs ink. I don't even think I'm going to sew around these today, guys. Can you imagine me not sewing? Wow. I actually like them without any stitching. Just a little gentle bit of black inking around. And then this one, woo, no. This one doesn't need too much, actually, it's fine. All right, let's put this out of the way for a second so we can look at what we made. I like to kind of clean up the desk at this stage of things. Just put it all away so we can have a quick look. There we go. Okay, so we have 3 tags for today. I'm quite happy with these. So they all are quotes out of this, antique book, Yet Speaking. And this is: "The gaslight illumined until it glowed, and the words stood out with startling clearness. Hung at her coffin's head. Took a mental photograph to live in his heart forever." And I need to find my scissors and clip. Oh, here's a little pair right here. We need to clip a couple of these down a bit because they're covering the quote. There we go. So I'm happy with these. I hope you had fun. I had fun. I'm really hoping I didn't lose the beginning of this video, but if I did, I do apologize. I have to work out my technical foibles. And I hope you're having a great day. So let's talk soon. Bye for now.